Hello everyone, here is Sao of My Own Interest, and this special episode is recording my own phone screen because it can't really be done otherwise. And it's about the Hunger Games. Cato and Thresh and Peeta are going to be the main focus of this video. They are all said to be the three strongest characters in the Hunger Games first book, which is the 74th Hunger Games. They're all said to be quite strong. But one thing that's not said is exactly how strong they are. Like how much can they bench press, lift over their heads, deadlift over up to their groin? Who knows? How much can you bench, Thresh? I heard you can hold someone. Let's start just one by one. Start from the strongest of them all, which is Thresh. He's 6'6" and muscular, which means he's probably about 250 to 260 pounds by my guess. But the biggest indicator of his strength is when he holds clove in the feast. Not the movie Thresh, the book Thresh was able to hold clove in one hand and a rock in the other hand. What this means is that his one-handed bicep curl is at least as much as clove's weight is, but probably more, like probably 30% more than that, because of clove's weight. All the careers are said to be 60 to 100 pounds heavier than Katniss. Clove is therefore at least 60 pounds heavier than Katniss. Katniss is probably 5'1" or 5'2" and skinny for her height, which means she cannot possibly be more than 100 pounds, and thus Clove is 160 pounds. Great. So Thresh can therefore hold a 160-pound girl in one hand, maybe by the arm, maybe by the hair, I don't know, and long enough to shout at her and smash her head in with the other hand. Okay. That would say that he has a 160-pound bicep curl, one-handed, right? Which means a 200 curl of 320 pounds. What does that imply for the bench press? Well, your 200 bicep curl is usually about 60% of your bench press. I don't even need to look that up. Thresh's two-handed bicep curl is twice of Clove's weight, which is 320 pounds, probably even more because he held her in just for a few words and not just for a second. So, 320-pound curl, and then that would imply, holy, that is strong, 530-pound bench press. There we got it. Thresh from the Hunger Games, strongest of them all, can bench press 530 pounds, which would probably correspond to about an 800-pound deadlift, and maybe 400-pound overhead press or 300 at least. Okay, next is Cato. One thing we know about Cato is that he looks like a monster. He is actually indirectly said to be 120 pounds. If not, 220, sorry. If not 220, at least 100 pounds heavier than Katniss. He's supposed to be the biggest career in the book. 100 pounds heavier than Katniss. That would be 200 pounds. So his weight would be in the range of 200 to 220 pounds. All we need to do is find out what the strength standards are for someone that size. I'm looking at my trusty website, themetricstrength.com. Here we go. How long has Cato been training? They only say his entire life. I'd assume maybe from the age where you can are coordinated enough to hold weights. And since Cato is pretty well coordinated, probably from the age of 6. Who knows? At minimum from the age of 8. So we go for strength standards. Put in burial, Cato. It's between 210 to 200 to 220 pounds. Let's put him in as 210 pounds and put his age in as 18 years old. View our strength standards for the second strongest character of the Hunger Games and, well, one of the best trained ones. Okay, let's see. He's been training hard the whole time, so he's not going to be subpar, untrained, or novice. Intermediate means at least 1 year. Proficient means at least 2 years. Cato's been training at least 10 years, or 8 years at least. Right? Multiple years, I would say 5 or 6 years. Exceptional, 8 to 10 years, and genetically gifted would be an exceptional or elite. Now, he's mostly going to be in fighting training, so I'll put him in exceptional. Okay, let's see what his bench press is going to be then. Untrained? No. Novice? No. 200 pound for intermediate. Proficient? Advanced is 300 pounds. Exceptional, for his age and size, is 345 pounds of bench press. So right there, we estimate that Cato has a 345 pound bench press, and for deadlift, go to exceptional, 530 to 590 pound 5 pound deadlift. Now I'm not doubted that he's genetically gifted, so that would fit. Remember, Cato is actually strong enough to climb smooth metal. So he's not just some big guy, he has actual muscle. And just Katniss doesn't even bother to make the difference because it doesn't matter to her anyway. Exceptional means he can do pull-ups at least 130 to 150 extra pounds. Probably more than that, to be honest. Because he can climb. It's not him falling out of a tree, it's a tree being too weak to support his weight. Because he was able to climb the smooth metal cornucopia. Right there. That's for Cato. Now, the hardest one to estimate is Peeta. We know that Peeta is 16. He's said to be medium height and stocky build. Let's say medium height means 5'8" to 5'9". Stocky build means how big does a person have to be at that height before they're stocky? I would say 150 to 160 pounds at his age. Let's put it in at a generous estimate of 160 pounds. And remember, this is starving Panem. This is not America. It might not sound big for America, but it's going to be muscular for a Panem person. Because Panem is freaking hungry all the time. Okay. Now, I've noticed that most physical laborers would have a novice to intermediate level strength. They're not going to have proficient, advanced, or exceptional because that's if you're specifically in your training and that stuff. He can carry 100-pound bags of flour, and then in the movie he can throw them over his head as well. That would put up to an overhead press of 100 pounds and probably more than that. 100-pound overhead press fits smack in the middle between novice and intermediate. Now that's the temptation, but the reality is he was so strong that he got a training score of 8. 8 is the lower end career. Since a career tribute has been training strength for at least 8 years, strength and combat and endurance and blah blah blah, like full on rugby player, then he has a strength of someone with 8 years of training. Let's just say. Someone who's maybe 140 pounds, like an average Panamese skinny boy, with 8 years of training. But it's not at least 8 years. So intermediate and the lower end, it might take you 4 years to get to your intermediate. I'd say he's at proficient level strength for his size. Okay, for his thing, bench and overhead. Let's see, bench press at proficient level is 165, 205. Just below, so I'd say 205 pound bench press, which sounds about right. Overhead press. Remember, I can carry 30 kilogram bags, so him carrying 45 should be easy. Proficient is 135 pounds, which is well over 100 pounds. So yes, not only can he carry those bags, but he can lift them over his head. In my mind. So therefore, if you ever wondered what Cato, Thresh, and Peeta's lifting numbers were, you got it. What about our favorite girl, Katniss Everdeen? Katniss has phenomenal strength for her implied size. She is the height of an average 16-year-old. By the reaping probability, the average age of the Hunger Games, median age would be 16. And she's shorter than half of all of the people with a median age of 16. Some would, and some younger as well, right? Put this imperial. Put her age as gender as female, sex as female. Okay. To look skinny at 5'1" or 5'2", in my mind, you do not look skinny until you're less than 100 pounds. If you are more than 100 pounds at 5'2", you are not skinny, by my mind. And probably by Katniss's mind as well. Let's put her in at 100 pounds because she's mostly muscle. Muscles weighs more than fat anyway. So 16, 100 pounds.